Welcome back to segment 3 of our Brevard News Focus with our guest, Cal Fitzsimons, who was part of the January 6th riot in Washington, D.C. And we're going to talk about in this segment human toll that it has taken on he and his family. So there was a human toll that was taken on a lot of the J6ers. A lot of them lost all that they had, jobs, family, and you fall into that same category, Cal. You lost your job?
I lost my business. I was at the time a freelance butcher. Lost my business, lost my home, truck, marriage. I put everything on the line and I lost it.
So when you lost your business, how did that come about?
Well, when you're in jail, you can't work. You can't schedule your next appointment. You can't prepare for the season to come. So that came naturally with being incarcerated with no bond.
Was there any expectation that you were going to lose your family?
An expectation? No. But I can understand absolutely how intimidating and how scary it is to have your entire home turned upside down and have the media tell a really terrible story about the person you're with. And I fault no one who has not seen me through this to this point. I couldn't ask them to.
You were obviously in prison when this happened?
Yes, I was. I had concluded my trial and was awaiting sentencing, and my divorce was finalized in 2022.
So how do you wrap your mind around that when you're in prison? So you had a young kid, over a year old, right, at the time?
That's right.
Young daughter.
That's right. Year and a half when I went inside. It was asking too much to hold on to a home as a single parent, and I understand that.
So you can rationalize it, you can understand it, but it's still, there's the emotional toll that it would take on you, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm human, but so are my family members, and that's not anything that I can ask of them. This was my road. This was, if you will, this was my cross.
Your parents, what did they think about what happened, and what were they thinking about you?
Well, the wonderful thing about parents is that they're stuck with you. So
they can't leave.
I mean, they can complain, they can question and correct, but they stand by you. At least parents should. And my mother certainly was that. She was dutiful in that regard, and I owe her a great deal of thanks. My father, his health has been failing the entire time I've been inside, and I do believe that was a consideration that the judge gave in allowing me to do my prison sentence here in Florida. My father lives here in Florida, and he is terminally ill. And I don't know how much more time I'll have with him, but I'm very thankful to be outside in order to enjoy it with him.
And you were telling me that, of course, he has a terminal illness, and there was some question as to whether he would even make it to your sister's wedding. He was able to make that. He was looking forward to maybe seeing you before he passed away.
That's right.
And it was touch and go. What happened when he found out that you were getting out and he was going to be able to see you?
You know, there's that, you can hear a smile over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a smile.
And he was one of the first people that you went to see when you got out?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had lunch on Wednesday. I was back at home on Tuesday afternoon. I was home, and on Wednesday we had lunch together.
What was that like? Was it surreal?
It was cold. And I got to tell you, this weather here in Florida, it's interesting because I'm being from Maine. This is nothing, but everybody's running around in their winter jackets. So it was a great reunion, and I could tell, if not completely supportive of what I was there for, at least he was proud that I was done and had been the recipient of a presidential pardon.
What about your friends? Did your friends stick with you?
Well, I can tell you that I have a lot of new friends. Again, it's maybe too much to ask someone to throw their lot in with someone who's been turned into such a spectacle monster. I think it may be too much to expect people to walk that road with you, and I don't fault them. But like I said, I have a wonderful network of friends now, and I'm certain that there's going to be many opportunities to make more friends.
So what do you think about some of the views of January 6th and the view that a lot of people have that these were insurrectionists, that they were going to overthrow the government, and the fact that a lot of people look at these J6ers like they're the worst thing since the British?
Well, one thing that I am thankful for is I think that there's a circling back on that idea that we're insurrectionists, that we're traitors. We're your family. We're your neighbors. We sit in the pew with you at church. We sit in places of local government. And we cared enough to be there. And I'm actually thankful that there is a turning in a public opinion, because I'm tired of that script being played.
The Biden preemptively pardoning the J6 committee. What did you think when he did that?
It's an interesting legal concept. I am under the impression maybe that, just like myself, you need to be convicted of a crime in order to receive a pardon. It also adds the question back towards, what do they need a protection from? It's something that's going to...
Well, that mean old Trump, he's going to persecute them.
Right. And I think that is... I think that's something that they'd love to have happen. Unfortunately, as Trump had said in his inaugural speech, he thanked the black community and the Latino community for handing him such a decisive mandate. And I definitely think that there's going to be many opportunities for this administration to demonstrate bipartisanship. I don't think, other than their own guilty consciences, that they have much to fear from Trump, other than maybe getting some answers as to what may have really happened that day. And I think that's important, Jeffrey, because if we get down to the causes of January 6th, maybe we get some answers about the election of 2020. If we get answers about the election of 2020, maybe we get some answers about COVID-19. So this all is a bunch of dominoes going down the line, and I'm really hopeful that Speaker Johnson commits the resources and monies to continue the congressional investigation into these matters.
So a new congressional committee has been appointed. Do you hold out hope that a lot of the unanswered questions will be resolved from that committee?
I certainly hope that they can at least address and remedy the narrative that has been promoted for the past 4 years. I would very much like them to fix that. To put it simply, I'd like them to put that to bed, as it were. And I'm very hopeful that Speaker Johnson will do the right thing in that regard.
See, do you think that the false views that the average, many of them, and it's not all Americans, but many Americans hold those views that the J6ers are criminals. Do you think that that will ever change in America?
Maybe not. And I do believe that it was such a polarizing event that you're going to have an opinion about it. It's like this. It's like everybody remembers where they were for Pearl Harbor, for 9/11, for January 6th. So, me being there on that day, I'll have my own opinions, and I'm certain someone who watched it in horror at home will have their own opinions.
So what do you see as the current state of politics? Do you think that we are in a divisive situation where you have liberals and conservatives and that will never change? And do you think there will be a day where politics will come back to a rational, logical view, and that people will be able to see issues from that point of view?
Well, I actually think that the wonderful thing about President Trump's message of America first and make America great is that is something that every American, no matter their political affiliation, no matter their stripe, can work towards together in unity. I'm absolutely confident that proposing these ideas like finding new frontiers for America in places like Greenland, in places like Mars, these are the things that are going to move the ball forward for America into the future. And I am very pleased to be a part of this golden age as a free man.
So how do you rebuild your life? How do you start to putting your life back together? You get out of prison, you're basically having to start from scratch.
I don't at this time even have a state ID.
How old are you now?
I am 41.
So you're having to start at this point from scratch.
Yes, I am. And I can't say that it's the first time in my life that I've had to start over. And I'm up to the challenge. I plan on taking it one day at a time. And I know that doors will be opened. There'll be a happy ending.
So do you rely upon religion, Christianity, to get you by? Or what is it that you're holding to that is giving you the strength to be able to survive mentally? Well,
Absolutely faith. I was introduced to my mother's prayer warriors at her congregation today. And that was a lovely reunion where people who had been uplifting me in prayer for these years finally got to hug me. And
what was that like?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it's something that was so sweet. I'm absolutely hopeful for the future, and I know that the people surrounding me want the best for me, and I'm not going to disappoint them.
So what have you learned from this experience? As you sit back and you think about it, what have you walked away with from this experience?
Well, the first lesson I'd have to say through all this was not to become bitter. Since I've tried to be productive in as many ways as I can while inside, I can at least say I did the time and it didn't do me. I'd say I'd learned patience. You have to be patient on the inside because it does you no good to claw at the walls and always fret over the future. You have to take it as it comes.
So those things that you've learned, do you think that they're going to help you now in the rest of your life?
Absolutely. I think it's made me a more resilient person. I'm better able to cope in any situation I'm placed in. I'm eager to apply what I've learned moving forward.
Cal, thank you so much for joining us. It was so nice to meet you, and we wish you well with the rest of your life.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeffrey.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And so that's Brevard News Focus. Thanks for Cal Fitzsimons. I can want to compare that with Fitzsimmons. Cal Fitzsimons, who joined us on Brevard News Focus, and I hope that you learn more about January 6th and the people that were involved in it, and it will give you more information to be able to ponder on, to understand what actually happened on January 6th, 2021. Correct? And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. You have a wonderful time.